Hey everyone, Eric Thompson here. Hope that you are doing well, and thank you again for coming on by and checking out another installment in our top 10 film series. Okay, videos in which I sort of unpack my top 10 favorite films from certain genres of cinema. And so we've done war films, we've done sci-fi and fantasy, we've done animated films. Many of you watched and commented last week on the video that Tori and I did together. And that was a lot of fun. Thank you for watching that. And this week, top 10 drama films. Now, before we get into it, I want to just say one thing real quick. I apologize for being so behind. I've only posted 2 reviews this week, one of which I did a video reel revelation in, and that seemed to go pretty well, having that video component. I don't think I'll do it all the time, but I'll try to do it once a week. So I got Mondays and Tuesdays posted, and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday was supposed to be the Godfather trilogy. Ironically, on Thursday, it was the anniversary of the Godfather's initial release. There you go. Anyway, I didn't get any of them done. I mean, I didn't even get them started. Things have been so busy, both here at home and at work and in between, that I've just not had the time to commit to it, which is unfortunate because this is supposed to be a discipline for Lent. And so I feel I am neglecting somewhat there. I hope that you'll forgive me for that. I'm going to try and get back and pick up those titles later on in the season, but no guarantee. And I hope that these videos kind of make up for it. I know that some of you feel that they do, and I appreciate that. That is really all I've got to say outside of the top 10, except again, thank you for watching and posting your comments. I sure do appreciate it. And here we go. Top 10 drama films. Oh yes, of course, there's always one more thing to talk about. I was trying to discern, as I have with the other categories, what is a war film, or what is a sci-fi film, what is a fantasy film, or in what kind of context am I going to consider the films of this genre? Well, for drama, at first I thought it would just be films that were based on interaction between people. And then, of course, I realized immediately that that is the premise of almost all film, really, to some degree, of all art. Thus, every film is a dramatic film, because it is of drama, okay? So I am stumped. But I wanted to get a little deeper in, and so, of course, I went to previously formed lists by other people, or AFI's Top 100 or whatever it was, to look at what other people had classified as drama films. And indeed, if you go to film listings on Wikipedia or Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic or something like that, it'll tell you this is a drama film, even if it says it's a psychological drama thriller or something like that. That it still affixes that drama designation to the film instead of because no one would call Die Hard 3, Die Hard with a Vengeance, a drama film, even though it is somewhat dramatic, but it is an action movie. Okay, so I hope that frames it somewhat in some of my selections. Let's get on with it. Are you ready? Here we go. Top 10 drama films. Number 10, The English Patient. 9 Oscars this thing won. What? Hey. Where's the thing? The image. What is happening? What? No. No. Come on, you can do it. Why? What is happening? Something's happening here. What do you mean, where is she? What are you talking about? Yes? No, she's not. Well, do you see her? She's not here, man. What's going on? Oh, give me a break. Yes. Yes, everyone liked her very much. Yes. You have to do it. You have to help me complete this task. I can't promise that. I will try. If I promise to try, is that enough? Shut it with the Star Wars. Thank you. Yes, okay. I I will. Oh my gosh. I will try. I will try. Vegas. Okay. Will you please put The English Patient up now? Thank you. The English Patient, Good. The English Patient received 9 Oscars. Now, that's a heck of a place to start already. 9 Oscars is not a small thing. Holy smokes. And it is on the scale of the great epics. Indeed, to me, it was reminiscent of Lawrence of Arabia, Because of the Desert. I'll give that up. Or You Were Gone with the Winds, or that kind of film. They had that scope. But especially when the patient is in I want to say convalescence. That's not right. When he's when he's in recovery and he's being tended to by the nurse, that gal, and they're in Europe, during the war, and all this stuff is happening around them. You have this magnificent micro story, but it plays out mentally and with flashbacks and all of that of this incredible macro story. And it is wartime, and so you have all of the war elements in the desert, which is always sort of a curious place to observe war happening because it's so different than what we typically see in other films with jungle settings or European settings or even on the ocean or in the air. And so here we are in the desert. That's different. That's intriguing. Unbelievable casting. It was always very gripping to me because it felt like other epic films. I don't know that it's going to be listed up there with them in the big, greatest of all time lists, but I think it deserves a placement on my top 10. Number 9, what a departure. Again, the sense of macro and micro colliding. 7. 7 with a number 7, not a V. If you've not seen this film, 1, if I do a review on it, check out the content to caution, because you are going to want to be cautious about this movie, especially if you're watching it with anyone who's younger. In brief, Kevin Spacey, you know him, we love him, he's great, is a serial killer. That's different for him. And how does he kill people? By committing or by demonstrating the 7 deadly sins. And so you have Morgan Freeman, a detective who's on his way out. You have Brad Pitt, a detective who's on his way up the ranks, and is part of Morgan Freeman's last case and sort of Brad Pitt's first in this setting. They're going to try and figure out what is happening. It really is a deep, disturbing treatise on sin, not only in how it is displayed or demonstrated through these murders, but also how the characters themselves deal with the reality of sin in the world. Very gripping. Unfortunately, it won 0 Academy Awards. What is up with that? Oh well, it's a good one. Very dramatic, very thrilling. Number 8, microfilm, okay? I should stop saying that. I don't mean microfilm like the medium. I mean, it's all in one place, this movie. Kramer versus Kramer. This movie will live on, I would probably give it 7.5, 8 out of 10 if I did a review on it. I think I did actually do a review. If I did, I'll put it in the description below. To me, this was always a testament not only to the unbelievable acting skills of Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep, but an incredible look into the difficulty of divorce and parenthood therein. I had never thought of these things, in my own personal experience. I mean, having known friends who have dealt with this and struggled with this, but never seen it in such a real way, presented unabashedly by these actors in this movie. And I keep thinking about that scene when they're in the restaurant. It's toward the end of the movie, and they meet, and he is going to try again, to get his son back, or she's trying to get her son from him, whichever way it is, I don't recall. And she throws the wine against the wall. Do you remember this? No, he throws the wine against the wall. I've not seen it probably in 2 or 3 years. But you remember this? It's just so iconic to me. I don't know why that stuck out. There's a lot of wine throwing in the world and in movies, but that one scene definitely stuck out to me. And of course, Meryl Streep, we can always depend on her to lead us home. Consequently, films that did not make it with her, I would have considered Doubt. Did you see that? That was a pretty good one. Iron Lady, which won her, her most recent Oscar this year. I didn't get a chance to see that, but no doubt it would be on par. Moving it up a notch, and welcome back Morgan Freeman, number 7, The Shawshank Redemption. Now, I gotta thank my friend Rachel, because I hadn't seen this movie. I don't think I don't think I was even. I don't think I. It was after I was through high school, and she told me like our freshman year or sophomore year. Have you seen this movie? I said, no, I haven't seen it. And then I watched it. Whoa! And then I watched it again and again and again and again. And you see it on like TBS all the time. It always seems to be run on TV somewhere, or Spike or TNT or one of those places. What a film! Wow. And there is that kind of claustrophobic effect after the film seems to go on for a while. Are you really in Andy's head? And from which angle are you viewing the movie? Because you become so intimately familiar with these characters, with Red, and with Andy, and with the Warden, and then with his conspiracy, and his corruption, and then Andy's very mysterious plot to get out, and then Red, and then these guys as they leave prison and they're going into the world and all these struggles they have. Wow, wow, wow. Nominated for 7 Academy Awards. How many did it win? 0. What happened? Now, you and I both know that this movie deserved it. We know that it did. I'm not going to argue. But leave it to my good friend Tom Hanks to spoil the party, because 1994, The Shawshank Redemption, what other big movie was released in 1994? Thank you. Yes, thank you. That was it. Thank you. Put it back up. Shawshank Redemption, put it up. Thank you. Forrest Gump. Thank you. Forrest Gump was released in 1994. And it did not steal all of the awards, but it swept. And so Shawshank did not receive any attention from the Academy, and maybe that is why we sometimes say the Academy is fickle, but that's how it went. Number 6 and number 5 had to go together. I just couldn't put them apart. Number 6, The Godfather Part 2. Okay, nominated for 6 Academy or 11 Academy Awards. That's huge. Won 6. Why? So you know what number 5 is going to be. Of course, the first part. We'll get there in a minute. Why not? Why not switch them around? Well, again, number 2 is generally right below number 1 in a lot of the top 100 film lists. I mean, from reputable sources, not just people like me sitting on their bed, reading off lists that they made up, 15 minutes ago. But I made it yesterday. Thank you. I'm just polishing it now. But why there? Well, for one, there's something about the quality of this film as a sequel. For whatever reason, sequels just fall into a black hole, and you really do not get the sense in many sequels that there is a just continuation of storyline. But somehow, Godfather Part 2 just killed it. It just destroyed as a sequel, even though you almost get a prequel, because you spent so much time with Robert De Niro when Vito was a younger man, and you go back and forth and all this. Wow, 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 wow. And then, of course, to see just the eventual transformation and the length of time. And I mean, anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. I mean, there's so much to say, but gosh, actually, I want to check my sources here. I don't want to be wrong. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm talking right. Anyway, so Part 2 is generally considered to be one of the most supreme examples of sequel. And so let's go ahead and just go to number 5. Godfather Part 1. There is a lot to say here, and I just don't have time to say it all. First of all, one thing that's important: Francis Ford Coppola was 31 when he was hired to produce this film, to direct this film, and he had really no remarkable success before that point. Budgeted at like $7 million, somewhere in there, and it made $270 million at the box office. Whoa! And this was the time when like Al Pacino and Robert Duvall, they were getting paid like $35,000 for the whole movie. Marlon Brando was like 50 grand or something like that. And so this was unbelievable filmmaking, shot on location in these places, real set, real feeling, real interaction, and an incredibly star-studded cast. Of course, it's incredibly star-studded. It's star-studded. It is an unbelievable star-studded cast, from Marlon Brando to Al Pacino to James Caan, Robert Duvall, down the line, okay? Wow, wow, wow. AFI, the American Film Institute, generally places this film as the second or third greatest film of all time. Number one is almost always Citizen Kane, which is not on this list. I'm sorry. What? I know it's good. Just, would you let me finish? Thank you. I said I'll try. Okay. Replace the software. Yay. All right. The Godfather Part 1 won 3 Oscars, and so you always like to see that, you know, where a sequel wins more, builds on the success. We saw that in Lord of the Rings. The first 2 movies won pithy amounts of Oscars, and the Return of the King did so well. Also, and just noteworthy, because so few films have this kind of effect, you know, The Godfather, Part 1, really introduced what they now refer to as the Godfather effect, in which Italian Americans had a revised sense of their place in our country. Not as mobsters, but as Italian Americans. And in this film, you know, we see the darkness and corruption of the mafia, but we'd always also see how Italian Americans embrace their heritage, and they are not willing to give it up for American ritual and American tradition. And so even though that's something that I don't understand really a whole lot of, because I'm not an Italian American, I didn't come from Italy to America, I think it's noteworthy to just see that Part 1 and Part 2, continuing that, had an effect on a social and ethnic level. And this is just not common. But speaking of movies that deal with social and ethnic classes, boom, number 4, Titanic. I had to do it. I had to put it in here. I'm not going to say a lot about it. I feel like I've said a lot about it already in other videos and in the blog. It is one of the top 3, you know, 3 films, again, I've said this before, to win 11 Academy Awards, up there with Return of the King, with Ben-Hur. And so Titanic, well done. It's being re-released this year, I think on April 4th, which is the 100th anniversary of the sinking of the ship. And so it's being re-released in theaters in 3D. And so James Cameron's going to make another $1 billion, and it will further cement itself in history. And I know a lot of people who just cannot stand this movie. You know, they are bored.com when they go and see it. I still want to encourage you, please go and try. At least try this movie out if you have not seen it. It is long, there are slow sections, but everything combined makes for an absolute masterpiece. And to those of you who would say, I know what's going to happen in the end, the ship is going to sink, well, you are right. But in 3D, I think it will be a thrilling adventure. I remember seeing it in the theater with my parents and my mom covering my eyes when during the drawing scene. You know what I'm talking about. And I remember how afraid I was when Kate Winslet is down in the C deck or whatever it is, and she's running around trying to find Jack, and all the lights shut out, and the sound was so loud, and it was that deep rumbling as the lights kicked out on the ship, the electricity failed, and how scared I was. Oh, it was so awesome. And so what a treat to go see it again in the theaters, have that experience again. Number 3, had to tip the hat to a true classic, a true seminal classic, Casablanca. You know, I don't want to say a lot about it because there's so much that's already been said, except that it is a cornerstone classic of the cinematic canon. And you cannot go far in trying to understand or appreciate cinema without seeing this film, without understanding it. I'm gonna burst the bubble right now. Gone with the Wind is not on this list, but it could have tied, okay? I could have put both Gone with the Wind and Casablanca here. I just like Casablanca more. That's all. Okay. Number 2. A little bit different. There Will Be Blood. This movie went head-to-head with No Country for Old Men in 2008, or whatever it was, 2009. It was nominated for 8 Oscars, and it won 2. But Daniel Day-Lewis took home the Best Actor award, which he has deserved more times than he received that honor. I could not get enough of this film, thanks to my friend Adam for turning me onto it and telling me wisely, you have to watch it in one sitting, don't stop it, and then come back to it later. The pace of it, which feels so largo at times, I mean, in musical terms, very, very slow. and molto sostenuto, okay? Very sustained, maxima sostenuto, you know, I mean, to the nth degree of sustained suspense and drama. Music plays into that, set plays into that. I just learned that apparently one of the scenes when they blow up the derrick, or when all the oil is on fire and all that smoke is in the air, apparently that smoke drifted into one of the shots for No Country for Old Men, which was shooting in relatively the same part of Texas. As No Country for Old Men had to shut down for a day to let There Will Be Blood complete their work. Like number 7, Shawshank Redemption, I feel like There Will Be Blood is worth sitting through, and you'll enjoy it, but it's worth sitting through just for the last 20 seconds. I like big chord movies that end with big musical chords in the accompaniment, big or whatever it is, you know, big swell of the orchestra, and then off it goes. These movies have big chords too, but, well, except for The Blood does not. But those last 20 seconds feel like a big chord moment, C-H-O-R-D, a big chord moment for me, because it is such an emotional weight that is placed on those last few moments. And like a good symphonic piece, or a good opera, or a good ballet, or a good poem, that last part can make the whole thing. And for me, here, There Will Be Blood, it certainly did, although it is awfully disturbing. Number 1, you know what it's going to be. How could it be anything else than the story of the greatest drama of all, Ben-Hur, A Tale of the Christ. The greatest drama of all, of course, not being the story of Judah Ben-Hur, the prince of Israel, or a prince of Israel, a prince in Israel, but of Jesus. And Jesus running around and bumping into Prince Judah here and there, and all of this. It is again one of the top 3 to win, or one of the only 3 films to win 11 Academy Awards. It was nominated for 12, but it did not win Best Adapted Screenplay. There were controversies over, you know, the novel, and who wrote the novel, and his interaction with the script, and then people getting fired and coming back, as happens in film a lot, I guess. It happened a lot in those elder days. People fired, rehired often. And so the Academy probably dismissed it for that 12th award because of the controversy. Also, that happened with The Godfather as well, with the score. It was dropped at the last minute, the score was, because it was discovered that the composer had taken a melodic line from another piece, another composer's classical piece. Oh well. Ben-Hur, it is my favorite movie of all. And it is a drama of incredible reality and weight, intensity, and honesty, as you see this man go from prince to pauper, if you'll pardon the expression, from his glory, from his strength and his might, and he's loved by his people, and then challenged by the presence of not only his friend, his brother, not his real brother, but a brother to him, but now as a civic authority, when Messiah comes and really tells Judah that he has to side with him. You're either for me or you're against me, or you're with me or you're against me. And then, well, I guess I am against you. The film itself is full of really what have become iconic scenes in the history of all cinema. We're talking about the sea battle and the ramming speed. The music. Holy smokes, Nina Rota, or Milos. Anyway, I can't remember. It's too late. Incredible music. The chariot race, a 9-minute sequence, and someone actually died during that sequence, and apparently it's there. You can see this person get run over. They don't die on screen. They died after the shot. But so it really took a life. That is not necessarily confirmed. I would not trust Wikipedia on that. That kind of goes back and forth, whether or not that shot that we see is actually him actually getting hit, which led to his death. Anyway, but still, it really happened, okay? And then certainly for it all to be encapsulated and wrapped up in the story of Jesus, the Savior, which carries its own unbelievable weight. And so, Ben-Hur, for me, until something else comes out that is more convincing, I just don't know that anything ever could. Until anything else comes out, again, we'll see. Ben-Hur is my number 1. So is my top 10, my list of my top 10 drama films. You're free to comment. I encourage it. Let me know what you think, what you would have kept on there, what we would have taken off. There's so much here in the drama field, and looking on some of those lists, it's hard to hold it together. Especially recently, we've had incredible other dramas. The King's Speech. Oh, I wanted to put the Queen on so bad with what was her name? Helen Mirren. Oh my gosh! Wow, 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 wow. The other Boleyn Girl. I would not have put that on because it is too light, but it is good. Atonement. Whoa. Oh, what else is there? Amadeus. You know, I just realized it should have been on the list. Well, we'll give it an honorary position. I won't say which one. I'm not going to say it's, number 5.5 or anything like that. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mozart. You deserve to be on the list. Can we have a picture of Mozart, please? A serious picture. Thank you. Amadeus should have been, frankly, Amadeus should have been number 2. But it's too late now. I said it. So maybe I'll just do the video again next week and recant. Anyway, there you go. There's the list. Thank you for watching. This is a bit longer than I normally go by myself, but I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching it. Next week, very much looking forward to it. We're doing action films, okay? And so then you're going to get your Die Hards and your Terminators and all that stuff in there. And a lot of people recommended that I go back and I separate sci-fi and fantasy. I'm going to try. I really will. I'm going to try, just like I promised, to try and get Tori over. Thank you, Vegas. Again, to do a video with me. I'll try to do that. No promises. But if the top 10 videos go really well and you enjoy it, maybe we'll continue past Lent into ordinary time. And we'll try some things there. All right. Holy smokes. This is long enough. Thank you very much. Thank you, Vegas, for your unintended participation tonight. Take care. Bye.